our check-in call for PurpleStride Charlotte this morning. This is our midpoint check-in, although we didn't have our call with you in October, so this is sort of our first check-in that we're having with you. Missing the October calls, totally fine for this market since Lori, you are an old pro at this, and we are returning to the same location. A lot of what we went over on that October call was very big picture stuff that you're well familiar with already. So we will touch on a few extra things here in this call, but mostly this call is to get into the specifics on the Charlotte event. We'll look at the site map. We'll talk about the route a little bit and see where our tent and equipment order is so far. This, as always, is very much a collaborative call, Lori, so we definitely want your input. Jump in if you've got questions, issues, suggestions, anything you want to talk about. Quincy, same with you, of course. And I think we all know each other, so we can probably skip the intros this time around. And let's just jump right into a couple of things. Probably nothing you don't already know here, Lori, but I do just love to take a chance to plug the shared resource site. Once again this year, it's our hub for all of our interactions that we're doing across the entire PurpleStride series. Called out specifically on this slide are just a couple of training and tutorial resources that are on there. There are tons of trainings, little short videos that go over all kinds of specific things, a number of training documents on there as well. I know we're going to talk a lot about the route today, and last year and the previous years before that, we have leaned on the affiliate to find and identify a route lead. That's the plan for this year too. If you have a volunteer, did you have a volunteer do it last year? Mm-hmm. Perfect. So I don't know if that person is able to come back and do it again. Mm-hmm. If so, excellent, because they know the routine. But there's just a couple of route specific items on here. If you or your route lead wanted to just sort of bone up on things a little bit, this Charlotte route obviously has some unique and specific elements to it that may not fall under a sort of general tutorial. We'll talk about all of those on this call today.
You said it's already on the SharePoint site?
These training resources are all in the document library. Yeah.
Okay. Under logistics. Oh, wait, maybe this one.
Yeah.
Resources and platforms.
Yeah. So under, this still says 2025. Under PurpleStride 2026, it's a folder that's tutorials, trainings, and meetings.
Tutorials, trainings. Oh, yes.
And then there's recorded trainings and tutorials within that.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Checking in real quickly on our deliverables timeline. So as you'll probably recall, we will periodically send you updated versions of the three big documents here. The route map, which actually isn't a document right now, it's on Google My Maps. It'll be there until right before the event. The site map, which we'll go over on the call today, and the vendor tracker, we've previously referred to it as the IRF. You may remember that term. And that has undergone some changes for this year, which I'll go over in detail on this call. Those items right now are on the shared resource site in Charlotte's folder. We just posted them last Friday, so if you haven't looked at them on your own yet, it's totally fine. We're going to look at them here together. Just want you to know that that's where they are. So after the call, if you want to go back and examine more closely, you can. Come on. Here's where we are right now, reviewing these documents on Market Call 2. After this call is over, if there's additional feedback you want to give us once you've sort of looked at everything a little more closely on your own, you have until the end of this month to get us any change requests, things you want to see tweaked or moved around that we don't discuss on this call today. And anything we get from you by the end of this month will be incorporated into the next round of the documents that we're going to update and post on February 9th. Now, you can still get us additional input after that. We're just not going to send you a new version of the map every time we move something around. The next round of refresh that you will see after that will be on March 23rd. That's right before our final pre-event call that we'll have with you, where the staff will be on that call. We'll go over the final details, but you'll get new versions of everything right before that call, and then we'll go over them on that call again. One other big bad deadline to keep in mind, this is on the volunteer calendar as well, is March 16th. That's kind of when the last call we want to do for any change requests. So anything after that, you can still send us. We can't guarantee those changes will be made at that point. And the sort of asterisk to all of this is that sponsors and all-star teams, those deadlines don't come until after March 16th. So once we get the final numbers on those, we will incorporate those in from our side. You don't have to give us a heads up about all-star teams or sponsors. Everything that we go over on the call, we'll make any final tweaks to on that last call. And then all documents are stamped capital F final and put in the event book April 17th, 1 week before the event. This is pretty similar to the timeline we had last year. Any questions on the deliverables?
No.
All right. So one thing we did go over on our October calls, and hopefully you've seen this or heard about it in some version before, are some infrastructure changes that PanCan had put into place for the entire series this year. Most of this stuff is not going to affect the Charlotte event because you are this expanded package that's over 700 participants. So things are going to look pretty familiar to you with a couple of exceptions. The first is the start finish line. Does Charlotte have a premier sponsor, or have you in the past? Okay. So without a premier sponsor, we're no longer going to do the truss structure at the start finish. The truss will be for markets that have premier sponsors because those sponsors go on a start finish banner that we have to hang from something. For everything else, we're encouraging you to look into a balloon arch or balloon columns. There's going to be on the signage portal when that opens up in February, the option to order start finish feather flags if you want to stand those up at the start finish area. All of this, you will have additional budget in your event experience budget to cover balloons. I think some markets are talking about like getting a branded inflatable, if that's something you're interested in looking into. This will fall to the affiliate to take care of, although we can support you with resources and suggestions if you're like, I cannot find a balloon artist who will do this kind of thing, or whatever the case may be. So we're just kind of looking to like March to be, if you can get it, any of this stuff lined up and handled by March, that's probably going to put you in the best position to not be scrambling in April to do it. You don't necessarily need to let us know when this stuff is, when you've booked a balloon artist or anything. This is something you're just going to arrange from your own end. And then when we talk to you on that last call that we have with you, at that point, we'll check in on like, what time are they going to get there? What sort of resources will the balloon artist need and how much time and everything. Quincy can definitely help you with this and jump in on brainstorming how and what you want to do with this, but just wanted to make sure that's on your radar. The other big change that's across all PurpleStride events this year is that the t-shirt distribution will not be happening at the event. I'm happy that you're happy about that. Some markets are like, oh no, we love t-shirts. I'm like, why? They're so stressful. So
I'm glad that that's gone.
Those are going to be fulfilled and sent out prior to the event directly to participants. So t-shirt tent is gone. All those boxes that get shipped to you, you don't have to worry about this year. Everything else on here in this expanded package column is what applies to Charlotte. It should all be very familiar. There's not really any other changes. Most of the changes are coming down for the smaller events with fewer than 700 participants, but definitely wanted to make you aware of all this. Do you have questions about any of these infrastructure changes? I saw your face go a little numb on the balloon arch.
Well, the balloon arch, yes, I have a balloon artist. She does columns for us. She used to do an arch for us. She don't like doing them, but
you can do columns at the start finish too as a visual marker. And the flags,
big like thing won't be in the way because I didn't like that big thing. Too.
The inflatable is not too bad though.
Huh? Were you looking into it for Atlanta?
I'm looking into it for Atlanta so we can always have something. You know, like
then you've just got something in inventory. If you do like a branded inflatable arch.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think Hannah mentioned, Quincy, when you talked about this last night on Atlanta, that if you do decide to pursue that and look into the inflatable arch, just make sure you're also looking into acquiring a generator to power it also, because we won't have that out by the start finish, a generator.
I'd like to see options for an inflatable arch. I haven't even thought into that. But you also mentioned something about flags. What were the flags?
So the feather flags are like the tall flags that are on a pole. They kind of flutter lovely in the wind. So you can have, ones that say start/finish or whatever the case may be. Those will be on, PanCan is putting together actually a design for those. And so when the signage portal that you're going to order all the other signage through opens, they'll be on there as an option. So that's something that you can even wait until February when that's open and see what the design is, see if you like it, how tall usually they're about like 8 or 10 feet tall. So they're visible from far away too. I have a feeling Quincy's going to become our expert on branded inflatable options. So we're going to continue to go back to him for any markets that are interested in that. Any other questions here?
I don't think so. I was looking at the smaller markets, and I can't believe they're doing away with the Why Do I Stride and the photo booth. Those are too popular, but
they're just encouraging them to combine wherever possible to eliminate some of the tents. So we actually haven't had any of our calls except in October, but this time around haven't had any calls with the smaller markets yet. So I'm curious to see what they have to say about all that next week when we start talking to them.
Okay.
The last item, which doesn't super apply to Charlotte because you guys are under a covered concourse for most of the event, but we do have our weather contingency like we've always had, and there are some elements on here that we'll call into action if we need to. That will include like a tent over the stage area if there's rain in the forecast. Heaters, sidewalls for tents, you don't really need to worry about necessarily because you're mostly under that covered concourse anyway. And then on the other hand, if it looks like weather is going to be extremely hot, there are a couple things that we can pull in as weather contingency items for that. Like I said, probably not going to affect Charlotte very much, but starting about a week, 10 days out from the event, we start to dive into that forecast in a lot of detail and see what we might need to call in as extra supplies.
So I do know that my DJ asked for a tent because I can't remember if I put it on the thing. It kind of rained a little bit last year, and he preferred.
And was he set up down on the field near the open? Okay, yeah. So since we didn't have an AV tent here, did we, Jordan?
No.
Yeah. So what we can probably do is add the AV tent to the order the way that we normally would, that would normally house all of the sound equipment and the mixing board and everything. We don't have that equipment, but that tent is sort of allotted for your event anyway. So if we want to add one of those and we could just station it down on the field and the DJ can operate out of that, then I think that's our workaround for getting you the DJ tent.
Okay. And speaking of, since you threw out AV tent, can we make sure the AV guy is there this year?
That's definitely a Jordan question. I don't see why we can't.
I was not happy. Not at all.
So last year, did they just sort of like set everything up, but then didn't have anybody there to troubleshoot and operate things?
Right.
Got it. Okay.
I don't even, when you say did they set everything up, I don't know what that means, but my AV guy plugged in. They had no sound. They didn't know how to work the sound. It was a scramble about. And then my DJ was like, let me go see what happened. All you had to do was turn the sound on.
Oh, man.
I didn't even know that. So we went probably 45 minutes.
Okay. Without any audio.
Into the pre-ceremony.
Okay.
Silent. I kept saying, where's the music? What's happening?
It's so noticeable when there's no music either. You're like, there needs to be something coming in.
Yeah.
How did the video board work out?
I loved it.
That worked out good? Okay.
Yes, I loved it. We do not want the PanCan branded one. I will only do one for everyone sitting in their pictures because it was not a good look for just stock photos. People wanted to see their own pictures.
Oh, for sure.
So,
yeah. Yeah, and that's something, that you'll work on in the weeks leading up to the event to acquire all of that, to put the slideshow together. Jordan will get us, usually the stadium will ask to see the file a few days before the event just to test run it. So we'll let you know what the deadline is for that. And hopefully you have a lot of time to gather up some good pictures. Great place to recognize top fundraisers, survivors, just give everybody their moment on the screen.
Yeah. I didn't think about doing top fundraisers, doing different segments and things.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, you want to see yourself on the big screen? Get that top fundraising level. All right, I'm gonna hand the screen share over to Jordan, and we'll take a look at our site and route together. While he is pulling that up real quickly, just to confirm on timeline for the event, if I can get to that tab. Okay, so for Charlotte last year, we had the 8 a.m. site open, 9 o'clock opening ceremony, 9:30 walk start, and 11:30 event end. Do you still like those times?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, perfect. All right, Jordan, it's all you, bud.
Perfect. So just going off of how we had the final map is for last year, I did go ahead and add that tent there for AV. I did leave the T-shirts there as kind of a placeholder. I figured that could be good real estate for maybe a sponsor who likes to be at the front gate and hand out pamphlets and everything. So just kept it there just in case. Or you think of anything else you want to put there, or you can just remove it completely and just keep the registration and donation there and volunteer and check in.
No, that if we can move all of that to have it is the same as last year.
Okay.
We didn't have any tents on the outside.
Nope. Okay.
Our volunteer check-in tent was, you see where those people are a pole, or where the food and beverage is?
Yes.
It was to the side of that coming into gate 2. Registration and donation was over on that back side where it says route start, where that little house is.
Okay.
So there's more here.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the north of that.
Yes, on the opposite side.
By where that little outbuilding is, right by the end of the first baseline.
Yes.
Oh, I see. So
but volunteers was still over by food and beverage. All the pressure is on Jordan to make these changes while we watch and nitpick him.
Yeah, I'll make sure the board tighten up and clean up my final version. I did want to add too. I know we're just talking about the start and finish truss. If you do get an arch, there is power available in this area and a lot of areas too. So if you can't get a generator, we can use the stadium power as well.
Yeah.
And then coming in, we had all-star teams and sponsors, pro teams, and survivors all under the. Oh, go ahead.
Hold on 1 second. And then the Why Do I Stride was kind of in front of the volunteer tent.
Okay.
So kind
of
like
more across.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, that's good. I see. Oops. Okay. And then see if I can ungroup it. Put it here. Sorry, my computer's a little delay.
That's fine. We know you'll clean all this up and make it pretty.
So kind of like this, volunteer. Okay, perfect. And food and beverage was there. Registration, donation there.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
This structure that is right there where it says route finish, is that one of their? I can't remember what it was. I have to.
It's like if I remember, it's like one of those containers, and they use it for I think half of it was for concessions, and other half for their programs to hand out and everything. Were you thinking about possibly using it for something?
Could we use that space and not have the food and beverage tent?
I was just thinking about that. Yeah.
Oh, I have pictures I can see, but we can keep talking.
Yeah, I think those containers are sort of permanent, like we can't move them.
Yeah, right.
But if
so use it instead of using the tent.
Yeah.
If we could use them.
And I was going to ask also about food beverage. We have 2 10x10s on here for food and beverage. part of those infrastructure changes that I mentioned are downsizing food and beverage to one 10 by 10 whenever possible. But if you know that your unique event has a lot of food that you need the space for it, then we can run that up as an exception. They're just trying to, because a lot of markets still continue to have 10 by 20 for food and beverage, and all they have is granola bars and water. So they don't need all that space. If you still definitely need all that space for the amount of food and beverage that you have donated or brought in, then we can continue to do that. I just wanted to check in. I wasn't sure exactly how much you end up getting.
Okay. Yeah, I have snacks going to bed.
Love it. And then also, if we can end up using those containers, then that gives us a lot of extra space for that too.
Okay.
All right. So going through the concourse, was anything moved out of the concourse? Was it still All-Star Team and sponsors, Pro Team and Survivor? I know we had some extra tents near the Purple Play Zone, just in case anybody wanted to move out of the concourse.
So this is where my stress comes in at.
Okay.
Yes, all of the placement was fine. However, we need to work through how do we make those areas stand out, because most people didn't know who was the top 10 team. I mean, who was the elite teams. I can't remember what they changed them to now. But who was the top fundraisers? Where were they? It was like everything was all together. Nothing seemed special or stood out. There was a sponsor that was over, it just didn't seem as comfortable, cozy as we're used to. Because the teams were on a truss, the banners on a truss, and they were so high up, you would have to break your neck to see what you're looking at. I did like the survivors had the picket fence or something around it. That was great, but it was still kind of like, what is this for? Because their banner was behind them on the railing. So the layout is fine. That extra tent that was off to the side was for face painting. We might can get rid of that. I do like the photo booth area where it is.
So going back to the Survivor and Pro Teams areas real quick, one thing I'll mention, and I'm not 100% sure, we'd have to discuss it with Pancan a little bit, but a couple of other events that we have take place indoors. And so they don't, or in one case, it's sort of a site with existing structures that we don't have any way to attach the pipe and drape with the banners to. So those events have entirely feather flags instead of banners for their areas. So it would be like a tall flag that says survivors instead of a wide banner that they're putting on something. So since certain areas of your event village are indoors for all intents and purposes, like that could be something we can consider looking into. It's visually much more eye-catching if you're walking, on this covered area with lots of people around. And then you would still have the banners in your inventory too. So you could put the banner on the fence behind and then have the tall flag next to it also, as a way to just sort of make those areas stand out a little bit more. We can also talk about if you want to do the picket fencing around the Pro Teams area, we could do that sort of portioning it off that way visually too. And then for the sponsors and all-star teams, I mean, these other events that are indoors do the feather flags, new ones every year for sponsors and all-star teams. So that's something we could look into as well.
I kind of would like my pro teams in this seating area that's already provided.
Okay.
But then let me think about it a little more, because then that makes everyone stop and gather there instead of going through.
And I can also ask the stadium about like, if you want to use like stanchions too as well, like the ropes. If they have like velvet rope for anything, and also stanchions, kind of make it more like VIP like.
Yeah. Okay. Let me think of that. Think about that. Because that was a main kind of gathering point, and people didn't know to walk around and see what else is there.
Right. Yeah, let us
Charlotte.
noodle on that a little bit and let us know what you think.
Yeah. Is there any other markets that do their purple strides at a baseball field?
Arizona is in a baseball stadium.
Tampa Bay, kind of.
Tampa Bay, then, they're in the plaza outside.
Orange County.
Orange County has been an Angel Stadium for many years. They're not there this year, but yeah.
Arizona and Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Arizona is probably the most similar. They're inside the stadium on the concourse the same way. Tampa and Orange County were at the stadium, but they were outside on like the plaza area.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay.
So photo booth, find where it was, and then you said the extra tent we won't need for the face painter. Yes, we will need for a face painter.
Yes, probably face painter and hair people, but I will confirm that.
Okay. I'll keep that on. Perfect. Any other questions or changes we should do on this site map for now before going to the route map?
No. Okay. This is not about the site map. Are we able to use the baseball batting cage?
Yes.
again?
Yep.
Okay.
That and the bounce house as well.
Okay.
It'll be the same protocol as last year. They'll have like a person there.
The bounce house is probably not needed. We didn't care for it last year. It's so far around, and then you have to sign a waiver, and then you have to. Yeah, no, I'm okay with the bounce house.
No bounce house. Yes, on batting cage. And I will add too, they're probably going to ask Lori if you wanted to do like, she'll probably send me some games that you might be interested in coming to one of the games and do like a promotion for the event. And they'll probably ask as well too if you want to like provide any graphics that they can show up during the games to promote the event as well. So when I touch base with her, I'll have her send me some dates on what games, and I'll have Aaron send over to you, let you know what games you might want to do.
Can we also, if we are doing a game, can we also have some tickets to invite some of our maybe top teams?
Okay, I can ask you about that.
Because last year it was just me and another lady, and it would have been good to have like a lot of purple or some form of purple, more purple.
Maybe want to do the first pitch, maybe? I can request that.
That would be great.
I'll talk to her about that. Yeah, extra tickets for teams. Graphics dates.
That's a good fundraiser or a registration.
Oh my gosh, that would be so fun.
Yes. Jordan, I like your thoughts.
Thank you. I said now I want to do a first pitch. All right, let's go over to the route. So update on the route. I did our application process opened up in November. I sent everything to them. Told them that we want to expand and do the open up the roads and close them off for us. I heard back in December that we're locked in for that date. Let's follow up and reach back out the New Year's, and we'll talk about dates to come visit and everything. I never talked about doing the visit in November, December. So I had to wait till they had 2026 were on their mind. They didn't want to talk about 2026 yet. But yeah, she's gonna get back to me soon for dates for the end of January and first week of February. And I guess I have Aaron send over to you which date works for you.
Okay.
Yeah, but just going. Go ahead, Aaron.
Oh yeah, I think you just mentioned this, but to your feedback that we got after the event, Lori, we are talking to them about doing either full or partial road closures for the beginning here, where you said that everyone was having a hard time staying on the sidewalk, and if we can close that off and just go ahead and let them spill out into the street, I think that is happier and less stressful for everybody.
Yes, there was a car in the middle of people walking.
Great.
Yes. I'm fine with the route.
It was good. Okay, and then even the 1 mile turnaround was fine. Just going to City Hall, turning around, coming back, or was that changed?
It would have worked fine if my volunteers understood what I told them to do. But yes, that's fine.
Year one at a new site is always growing pains. I think you'll find that this year everyone's like, oh, we remember this now, and you won't have to be teaching brand new stuff quite as much.
I'm already working things out. My route lead was like, let me know when we're going to see the place so we can mark out. Yes.
Yeah, and when Jordan does his site visit, it really is for the intention of working on the route. So, he already said, we'll let you know when that is. If your route lead wants to come and join that site visit also, I think that makes a lot of sense to do that.
And I'll see if the people at the stadium let us use a golf cart to go around the route. We're not just walking all the way around it.
Yeah.
All right.
And then parking. Was any issue with parking? Same as last year. Blue was free for the public. We had survivors and VIP park closer to the gate 1. I think we had cones available. We cone off for anybody. Perfect. All right. Well, that's all I have. Any other questions or anything, concerns?
No. Will that route be uploaded to the thing? I only see the site map. I don't see the route.
The route is on Google My Maps. And so if you go on the home page of the shared resource site where you click through to the document library, all the way down at the bottom, there's a link to the Google My Map.
Oh, I think I saw that. Okay.
Alrighty. So let's talk about the IRF, the vendor tracker. Here we are. Okay, so as you may recall, Lori, in the past, the vendor tracker document was pretty dense, had all the vendors listed on it, and it was divided up by vendor. So there'd be a page for the tents, and then a page for the AV, and a page for porta potties, and everything else on that. This year, we've pretty much revamped the entire document. And so now it's divided up a little bit differently. And I just want to point out these differences to you. And then when you have some time, you can dive in a little more detail. So this first page, you honestly don't need to pay much attention to. This is just kind of internal details and logistical notes on here. Down on the second page where it is headed vendor summary, this is where you'll start to see the names of the vendors as we are booking them. So there's not a lot on here right now, but this is, kind of where we should be for this time of year. You're going to start to see this filled in more with, whatever outside vendors we've got coming in. Since we do have a lot that comes from the site here, there may be things on here that are listed as not needed or that they're coming from the site. There's a lot on here, and there's a lot of stuff on this list right now that, frankly, no PurpleStride event uses at all. This document is one that we're using for PurpleStride as well as the other events that we do. So we kind of started with everything on it, and then we're going to continue to cull it down. And so this list is going to get shorter and shorter. So these things that are on here listed as not needed, which I know we talked about Balloon Arch, but that's not needed as something we order. So things that are listed on here as not needed, ultimately, we're going to delete these lines and they won't even be on the final version. So when you look at it for right now, it may feel like there's way too much on here that we don't need. Just know that this list is going to continue to get shorter and shorter. Down below, we start to get into the orders and distribution section. So these first 3 numbered 1, 2, and 3 are just general supplies and services that don't have a specific spot that they go in the event village. The radios are being used by the volunteers and staff, so they're not relegated to one tent or anything. Again, a lot on here that we're going to end up not needing at all. And we'll take those off this list. So it'll just have the items that we are needing and ordering and the quantities of what they are. So, 20 sandbags right now are listed on here, trash bags that we're going to need, radios and the hand mics. Lots of this other stuff will just be deleted out as not needed. Same with the route supplies and general services, things like setting up tables and chairs, installing banners. If those are services that vendors are providing, we will note that on here. After these general areas, we start to get into the specific areas of the event village. And the idea behind all of this is that When this list is in the event book, you or your event staff or your other volunteers can take this list and go around from place to place and know exactly what's supposed to be in each of those spots. So Why Do You Stride, for example, we have one 10 by 10 tent here. The tent waits to hold it down. We're going to have some tables and chairs for you here, quick covers. So these are all the things that you just go and be like, okay, I'm at Why Do You Stride. Do we have everything on here that it says we're supposed to have? And then you bump onto the next section. So these are all divided up by areas of the event village rather than divided up by vendor. Again, there's a lot of things on here with zeros because we haven't filled in those details just yet. Those will be filled in. The things that don't apply at all will be zeroed out. And then because we do get a lot from the site on this, like we don't have a tent for pro teams, we have tables and chairs there. Those will all be filled in, and then tent will be deleted so that if someone's going around who hasn't been looking at this document a lot, they can look at it and go, oh no, we don't have a tent here, so I don't need to wait and have somebody set up a tent here. And this goes all the way down into survivors, volunteer check-in and registrations, photo tent, everything is on here. The all-star teams and the sponsors will be listed with their names and according to how many you actually have. Right now, they're placeholders. So this format is different than what we're used to, which is fine. I actually think this is a way more intuitive way to sort of look at where everything's going, especially when you're looking at it from the perspective of you and the staff who are going to be there actually at the event. And it's going to, again, continue to be customized for exactly what you're going to have and need. And then stuff that's not needed, delete it off of there because we don't want to confuse anybody. Down here at the very bottom where it says vendor report, ultimately, this will be a list of which vendors are bringing which things. And so again, like it'll say the tent vendor is providing 5 10 by 10 tents and 27 tables and 100 chairs. And then you can look at this against the invoice that they hand you when they're doing their setup and go, okay, these numbers match. Great. They brought everything that we ordered. So that vendor report section, it's a pivot table that's not cooperating right now. So we're working on getting that fixed, and that'll be, if not on the next version that we do in February, definitely on the final version that you have in the event book. Any questions about the new layout, the how to navigate it, how to really, you're just going to go down section by section, honestly, and just see if it matches up with what you know to be needed and true. And then if you see discrepancies, you can let us know. Jordan has numbers to fill in on a lot of these still. But by the time the next version gets up in February, you'll see a lot more of it filled in there.
Mm-hmm. No, but on the vendor side, if we can ask the stadium to have their whoever cleans their restrooms, if they can go in and do a clean at the end of Friday, because since Friday is open to the public, I didn't have to clean anything, but we needed to go out and get spray. We just flushed and kept it moving.
Yeah. But they definitely should be like emptying the trash and spraying down the surfaces. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Perfect. That's a good note.
Other than that, I think everything looks fine.
All right. Great. Okay. What other questions, issues, complaints, if you must, do you have?
We're past the complaining part. No, just dates for when Jordan is coming out. Everything else, I'm ready to have this over and cross our fingers that we can get to Charlotte.
Well, and I was going to say when you have some personal FaceTime with Jordan when he's there, you guys can talk and strategize a little bit more on exactly when applications are going in to get back into Charlotte. I know that's a big point for you, and we want to make sure that your cat and my dog are both, they know the call's about to end and they're about to get attention.
I don't know. Yeah, he's got something to add. I don't know. He knows nothing about Charlotte, so can't add anything. Sorry.
Yeah, but you and Jordan can discuss that certainly in person. And then when we talk to you again in March, early April, because we'll be coming up on when those applications open, we'll definitely connect with you again about that to make sure we are all on the same page timing wise on exactly when we need to push that go button.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Quincy, any questions from you? Oh, Quincy came off mute, but is still not saying anything. All right. Oh, there you are.
Oh, I don't know what's going on with all them. No, I don't have any questions. Thank
Okay,
you guys so
I
much.
figured. Okay, so January 30th, just reiterating, get us any input you have on what we talked about today, beyond what we talked about today, and we'll incorporate those into the next round. After that, you'll get your invitation to schedule our pre-event call. That'll come out first or second week of March. You'll get that email, schedule that call, but you're going to have the site visit in between then, so we'll let you know when that's going to be.
All right.
All right. Well, it's lovely to see you as always, Lori. I'm always delighted when we can put a smile on your face. I hope you were able to get some rest and relaxation, even though it's technically not vacation or holiday break anymore. You definitely deserve that. So let us know if there's anything else we can do for you. Pleasure to see you as always, and we'll be talking again soon.
Yep. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your week and a good weekend.
Quincy, if you have, oh dang, he jumped.
Oh, he's already gone.
I'll take him.
Thanks,
Okay,
Lori.
bye-bye.